One of the most mind-blowing things I've learned when I was younger is that even attractive people, if you look at the stats of when they meet people and they actually like them, their stats are really low. In other words, I used to coach guys on how to approach women in the streets and clubs, and I was pretty good at that, to be honest with you. And one of the things that I've noticed is that average-looking guys, the stats of a girl going out with an average-looking guy and sleeping with them is about 1 or 0.5%. Out of 100 or 200 girls, one girl would sleep with them, right? And that means clubs, that means grocery stores, all of that kind of stuff, right? But you would think that if you saw them from the outside in, they get a lot of results. The truth is, most people just won't like you back. Most people just won't feel chemistry with you. And a lot of people just don't want to accept that because their ego is too fragile. Just how it is. Their ego is too fragile to admit that most people just won't like them back, right? And the thing is that if you look at most people's stats of the percentage of people who actually like them back, you're going to be surprised because most people just won't like you back. Like, and naturally when we see someone who's attractive, we think that everyone likes them because we're projecting. We feel insecure. We assume they're good looking, so most likely everyone likes them. We think that they're never unhappy. We think that they have the best relationships. But if you actually get closer to the people who you envy and you're jealous about, you'll see that the results are not as great as most people assume it is. The thing is that your ego wants everyone to like you. Your ego cannot accept that some people just don't like you back. And that's why when you meet people that don't like you, your ego gets involved and they start to chase those people. They start to chase people who don't like them back because their ego is too fragile. That's most people. And that fragile ego will also exaggerate because whatever you feel, your ego wants to feel more. If you feel low self-esteem, your ego will create thoughts and projections that will create the low self-esteem. You will exaggerate how successful that person is with the opposite sex. You'll exaggerate how bad and unattractive you are, right? So this is a whole delusion that everyone is supposed to like you, when the truth is most people just won't like you, and you have to accept that. People are complex, and taking the fact that some people just don't like you personal and assuming that, oh my God, I'm just not an attractive person, is missing the whole picture. People are very complex. There's a lot of reasons why people won't like you that has nothing to do with you. Like maybe I'm talking to a girl and she looks straight, she's cute, I'm talking to her, she doesn't like me. Maybe she's in the closet. Maybe she has an illness that she just doesn't want to disclose and doesn't want to have to deal with it. Maybe she's super sad and depressed. Maybe she has unbelievable social anxiety. Those things are real. And those things, if you don't know the context, will make you think that they just don't like you. And what happens when you personalize that is that you literally attract what you don't want. You literally attract more of that. And that's why I tell this to people. A lot of times you don't know the mistakes you're making. You think you're doing everything right, but because your ego is so good at blinding you from yourself, you don't know the mistakes that you're making. In fact, if you ask a lot of people, ask your exes your faults. A lot of people will never even try to ask their exes why they don't. What are some of the negative qualities in them? You want to know why? Because your ego hurts. Like when I was younger, I remember I felt the temptation of texting all of the girls that I've dated that didn't like me back, and asking them, "Hey, can you be honest? Why didn't you like me back?" I never asked that. You want to know why? Because my ego was too fragile. If I would have genuinely asked that, I think I would have gotten some real answers that would have really helped. But your ego doesn't want to see the reality. It hurts too much, right? So that's what you have to understand. That's why it's always important to talk to Father Alex. Book a one-on-one phone call with me so that you could tell me the mistakes that you're making, so that you could tell me your story, and I can identify your mistakes. Because a lot of times, people will tell me their stories thinking they're telling me something good, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a mistake, right? And that's why I offer one-on-one coaching people, so that you guys can tell me the things that you're doing, and maybe you're doing something wrong that is obvious to everyone but you. That's how the ego creates blind spots, and it could save you years of trouble and heartache, which is one session with Father Alex. You can click in the description down below where it says work with me one-on-one, and there you'll be able to talk to me today. Well, not today, it's a little too late, but tomorrow, right? So understand, most people that you meet will have superficial connections. Most people that you meet will act like they like you, and they do like you, but just are not gonna like you enough to follow through. And one of the reasons is because most people are just antisocial now. Most people are scared. And even though they may like you, they're too fucking scared. And that's a real thing. So we have to understand we're not the center of the universe. Most people won't like you back. So what's the solution to that? Stop trying. Stop trying. If they like you, they'll like you. If they like you, you're not gonna have to do a backspin or a spin-a-rooney. For example, I dated a girl, I remember in school, I gave her a flower. I left the flower in her bike, right? I found out which one was her bike. And I was like, I left the flower for Valentine's Day. She was like, who is it? Who is it? And I was like, I don't know, right? Long story short, she found out it was me, right? She kind of connected the dots. You know what happened? Nothing happened. But I'm like, man, what is she not looking at it? She didn't. No, she just didn't like you, Alexis, okay? Most people won't like you. I went to art school. Not one girl liked Father Alex, right? Not one girl. Like literally, like not one girl had a crush on me. It's kind of crazy, right? But that's because that's just how life is. If people who you think are really attractive tell you the truth about their dating life, you're gonna be shocked. That girl that's really hot will tell you no guy wants to commit to her. That guy that's really attractive will tell you, yeah, I have girls that like me, but the girl that I love doesn't want me back. That guy, that couple that you think they're happy together, in reality, they're highly insecure. That guy that you think that always gets girls haven't gotten laid in years. That girl that you think that has all the guys wanting them, all of the guys don't respect her because she's too freaking needy. You don't know people's reality. In most people's lives, they're not happy with it. And in their dating lives, most people are having unsatisfactory results with their dating lives. So what I'm trying to tell you, lower your expectations. When you realize that most people won't like you, you're gonna assume a calm demeanor. You're gonna assume a confident demeanor, I'm telling you. But when you have this expectation that most people will like you back, you're gonna assume a very needy, creepy, like push people away type of energy that will attract more of the thing you fear than not doing it. So when you go around the world accepting that most people won't like you, they gave you their number, you texted them thinking that they were gonna text you back, but you know that most people won't like you. They don't text you back, you're calm. You don't overreact. You don't get needy. You don't start to think those negative thought patterns that I'm not good enough. You don't say, oh man, like people are assholes. Oh man, of course me. No, you just say, okay, most people just don't like you back. Just like most people don't like this person back. If you really notice, most people think everyone has friends. Why? Because when you see most people that are outside, those are the social ones. Most people don't have friends, and the way you know that's because most people actually stay inside. There are some people who you will never see because they just never come out. Most people have less friends than they really do. Most people have more heartbreak. Most people get played than they really do. But the problem is that they just don't tell people because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to tell people the truth. So you have this delusion that everyone is 10 for 10, that everyone has success with dating life. The truth is they just don't want to tell you the truth because it's embarrassing. They tell me, you're not the only one struggling. And the reason why I tell you this is because there's something comforting when you know that you're not the only one suffering. It's like when we had COVID, most people actually dealt with the fact that they were alone because they knew they weren't alone with being alone. When you have a disease and you're around other people who have a similar disease, there's a certain comfort behind that. And this comfort that I'm telling you will give your social vibe more relaxation. Just relax. Most people won't like you. That's totally fine. Most people don't like me. Can you just join and realize that that's the nature of being human? All right? Okay. Anyway, stop trying to get everyone to like you, and you'll notice that more people will like you as a result. All right, people, if you guys enjoy that type of content, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one and you guys have some situations you guys want me to answer, maybe somebody's playing you, maybe somebody doesn't like you, maybe you want to make somebody like you, maybe you want to tell me your situation and see what I think, you guys can click on the description down below and purchase a one-on-one phone coaching call with me that is completely confidential and nobody knows about it. And there I'll be able to give you my personal opinion about your situation. And at the end of the day, when you work with me,
you're gonna get answers. All right. The point is that you're not gonna waste your time. If you guys want to do that, click on the description down below. Those are the one-on-one private confidential phone calls. And if you guys want to be able to for me to answer your questions, like you see in my videos where I answer questions, you guys can book an email coaching session, which is more affordable, and you guys can change things around and nobody will know it's you. And there you'll be able to get a one-on-one type of coaching, and I'll be able to post it on YouTube. And the beauty about it is that nobody finds out because you get to change your name, people. You say you're in China, I'm gonna say you're in Australia. Nobody's gonna find out, people. Now, I wanna make it clear, the private one-on-one phone call are private, confidential. The email coaching calls, as you guys can see, are things that I post on YouTube. They're more affordable and they let me post a video on it. As long as you change things around, nobody will know it's you. So don't be shy, man. I love working with people, and at the end of the day, it's my passion to help people. You guys have no idea how happy this makes me to be able to help you guys at an individual basis. And at the end of the day, you're gonna get my honest advice. A lot of people bullshit you just to bring you back as a customer. If you guys are looking for that honest advice, this is the guy for you. Okay? See you guys.